Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynn@pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Hello, and welcome to April 2nd. It'd be a Tuesday, and you've been spared the fire alarm, which just went off and is now over, although it's been known to start up again. And it being a Tuesday, we... All right, I heard that. We welcome my sister, Susan. Hi, Susan.
Well, hi. Maybe you welcome me. Can you hear me?
You sound wonderful.
Oh, good.
You sound better than you did in California.
Okay, well, I'm on the I'm in, the brick fortress, and you never know if your cell phone service is working.
Well, wherever it's working. So Susan has found herself back in the family homestead of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Where
I have delivered our mother. Oh!
Do you believe it? All right. Hang on. Beyond belief. And it goes on forever. Why would they do it twice like that? What would be the point? And what's the point of continuing to have it keep going? It works, okay? Jesus H.
Maybe it's not an alarm. Maybe it's not a test.
No, nobody's leaving. This thing goes off so often, even if it were real, no one would react. Jesus, shut up! Unbelievable.
Perhaps you should evacuate.
Unbelievable. This is longer than usual, isn't it? And it's the second one. I'm sorry.
I think you should evacuate.
Hang on. Oh, you stop!
Ah!
What are they doing? I know they're running a goddamn test, but it works, obviously. Jesus! I'm sorry. Hello. Susan? Hello?
You may resume your prayer. You were saying Jesus?
Yes. Oh, I run out and I said,
if you want to go for the world record, you have to say it 14 minutes, 14 times more in 15 seconds while in front of a legislative body.
Yeah. Which happens to be our legislative body, right? Did you read about that?
I heard about it.
Yeah, wonderful.
It was everywhere.
Yeah, isn't that nice? And that was to welcome the new Muslim woman to the legislature.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't that vile? So I ran out there. I was screaming at poor Rodney, the receptionist. I said, "What are they doing?" And he said, "It's a fire alarm."
Yeah, like you're all supposed to be evacuating, but all that this has trained you to do is ignore it.
That's right.
Do you notice that?
You know what? It's like
it
car
alarms. It did not occur to anybody to say, "Oh,
right.
Clearly this is not a test."
No, it's like car alarms, right? Do you ever even look out the window if you hear a car alarm go off?
Yeah, I throw things. It's usually right under my bedroom, at 3 o'clock in the morning in Chicago.
Laura wants to know, why do they test every month? We only need to test 2 times a year here in Michigan. And ours talks to us as well. Sorry, but I'm laughing so hard. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Laura. God. All right, well, we don't have to suffer that.
It hurts.
You have no idea how loud it is in here. We've got one of the, it's coming right out of there, and it's beyond belief.
Well, it's coming straight into my speaker, straight into my ears. So, yes, I do.
Okay.
That's why I screamed.
God. Why do they test it every month? I guess because fire guys don't have anything else to do. They sit around and wait a lot for, it's one of those.
So when the building burns down, you don't sue the landlord for not having a working siren.
Oh. Do you think it's the landlord's doing or some kind of a, I don't know. Hey.
Who knows?
You see, I'm drinking Sprite Zero today. That was not my intent. I stopped into the local Rite Aid and went running in for some water. And this whole long, wall of possibilities. And I couldn't find water. It was everything imaginable. Various exotic juices, strangely, the caffeine-infused, crap, Red Bull, blah, 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 on and on. And I thought, where's the water? Water. It's like basic. And then finally I see like a few little bottles of water, strangely in amongst the Coke. But then I thought Coke does do bottled water. So I grabbed it, didn't think anything, paid for it, walking down the sidewalk with it, and I look, Sprite Zero.
Which is the amount of brains it takes to drink that crap.
Oh, God.
Stop fooling your body.
Well, it's all I got. I need to wet my whistle a little bit. I've obviously got to go grocery shopping because I couldn't find anything in my own.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking Coffee Plus. Can you tell?
You're drinking what?
Coffee.
Oh,
Plus.
Coffee. Never developed a taste, Susan. Can't stand it. Love the smell of it. Can't stand it. Mm.
You want to hear my tale of customer service?
Well, I think we will. Go.
Okay. Well, Mother and I arrived home last evening, and we're trying to, settle in. And I thought, well, I haven't heard any news. I will listen to the news. I turn on the television. There is, skip this rant. There is a telemarketer bumping in on my cell phone, and I am going to shoot whoever decided that they get to do this.
Wait a minute. You mean right now?
Yeah. Going beep, 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 beep. I look at it. It's something out of New York. No.
You know what? What is it that we are not to be left alone for a second?
Why isn't this a right to privacy?
A right to just silence.
Why do you have the right to break into my personal space at your will without my permission? No matter what I do to stop you, no matter how many lists I put you on. Oh, okay. Rant number 3.
Right.
Oh,
absolutely.
So we get back. Okay, here. So we get back, and the first thing I notice is that the cable isn't working, the wireless isn't working, the phone sounds like crapola. And so I go down to reboot our wonderful Uverse system, and I reboot it, and then I go on my way thinking that'll take forever, and I start listening to Mother's answering machine, which was chock full
of this kind
of 6 different people saying, "Do you know that we can get you a medical brace at a reduced rate? Call now. Push 9 if you say yes. Push 1 if you want to talk to an executive." And you can't get rid of it. Her whole phone was chock full of it.
And you know what? Then somebody who really needs to get in touch with her ends up hearing something saying that
In 3
mailbox
months,
is full.
There was right. In 3 months, there was not a real message because they spammed that box until it was full, and they disabled her. What for her would be her system.
Right.
And okay. So back to our Uverse system.
I don't know. Okay.
I reboot. Okay, it's a system that in Mother's house controls her Wi-Fi, her cable, and her telephone. And it's all out of AT&T in one box.
Mm-hmm.
So if the box isn't working, you're out of luck.
No, you're living in a quiet place.
Well, that's what I said. I said, Mother, we'll either have to read or talk to each other. So we both decided to read. Anyway, okay, this isn't funny. Don't make me laugh. So then I call, I'm just grumbling to myself because the reboot ain't working. It's just down there twinkling merrily and, in red where it should be green and manically green where it should be sort of a steady green. And I've redone all the connections. I've rebooted in every single way you can think of. And I have to admit defeat and think they might have to send me a new signal. Please, God, you can send me a new signal. So I call the woman in India. I don't mean to be offensive. I'm just telling you. It's always this really lovely but slightly difficult to understand woman in India.
Yeah.
Who instructs me all of a sudden that I'm supposed to be next to my, main thing. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, but in my house, I am speaking to you at one end and you are expecting me to be on a different level at the other end. I'll tell you when I'm there. And, so I get down to where the AT&T guy installed this thing, which is up a rickety stool in the rafters at the top of the basement in the farthest corner. And that's so that I can follow instructions easily because I can see and I can reach and I'm standing on a rickety chair. So now she's telling me to do everything that I did. I do it again. And she, and all the time I'm thinking, what if I'm not here? And she's sending Mother up on this stool and Mother would go. This is their customer service. So after doing this and fighting and trying and fighting, it's not happening. She says, your modem is fried. I'm sending you another modem. It'll be there on Wednesday. And, and just take the wires out and replace them the way you saw them. And, of course, you'll have to reset all of your passwords. But otherwise, you should be good to go. Do you have any questions? And as I'm just standing there speechless, I said, Wednesday? And she said, yes, Wednesday. And I said, really? I can't go down to the AT&T store tomorrow and just turn in the modem and get another one? Oh, no, ma'am. I said, you have to send it from India?
No,
I did not say that, but I really wanted to say that.
Okay. There is no customer service.
So I managed. And I said, does it matter if I sit here and fight with it after you? It's not going to go on no matter what I do. She said, no. And I said, okay. So I hung up. And I did everything once more, and I forgot it. And then Mother and I ate our dinner, and we spoke, and then we decided to go to our separate rooms, and for no good reason, I just out of desperation
tried it again.
Tried it again, and the smart TV came on. And I mean, it turned on the smart TV, so I clicked Netflix, and Netflix came on. I said, wait a minute, that means I've got Wi-Fi. So I rebooted all the things. I got it all up and running, and happiness reigned. We got our email. Everything was fine. I woke up this morning, and it was broken again, but I don't care. It was a brief little moment of Camelot.
All right,
and now it's almost Wednesday.
You've used a quarter of my friggin' show to talk about this stupid interaction that we all have all the time.
Yeah, but excuse me, how is this customer service and how much do they charge that they would expect, they don't even ask, that anyone that they tell to go anywhere in their house can follow their instructions and that's their customer service?
Well, otherwise
And
you'd
they
have to
won't, by
wait a
the
long
way, I won't be charged for this, she says.
Well, of course you won't be. I mean, are you kidding? She thought
Okay, there. Now, I only used a quarter of your show because I overheard you say before this whole thing started that you hoped I had something to say, so that's what I had to say.
You're kidding. You heard me say that.
Yeah, so
Who
you
else
better
heard me
watch
say
what you say.
Jeez. Shit. All right.
All right, talk whatever you want. I'm quiet now.
Okay.
I had to tell somebody. I was really irritated.
Well, yeah. You know, it's life now, living in this time and place is annoying. It's just maddening.
No, but it's corporations taking more and more money, refusing to hire the people that previously waited on you, making you do it for yourself, and then sending you a customer service survey to see how they did.
Well, here's the thing. This is unfettered capitalism. That's all this is, right? If we lived in
Didn't you love the days of regulation? I remember
if
the
we
days
lived
of
in a
regulation.
country in which actually our government was looking after our peace, quiet, serenity, security, they would not allow so much of what goes on. They wouldn't allow those calls to intrude upon the quiet enjoyment of our private property. You know, why do we pay to live in a place so that they can invade it at will?
State, Lynn.
What? Huh?
I said talk about the dark state, Lynn. If you don't think it was the corporations that quietly instructed people that government was too much in their business and all this regulation stuff was bad. I mean, it has taken us all this time to recognize how we've been propagandized out of our, much more economically diverse country than that we were to what we are today. And it was done through corporations stealthily convincing people that regulation was bad for them, that more government was bad for them, that corporations unfettered were good for them, that it gave every little guy a chance to get ahead. And instead, all the little guys are out here, and there's, 20 big guys up there laughing.
Well, yep. You ain't going to get an argument from me. It's unbelievable. But let us acknowledge that most of that was coming from Republicans, okay? That's all.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And this, what I just described in wasting the first 15 minutes of your show was the Republican idea of customer service.
Yeah. All
Send
right.
a 96-year-old lady up a ladder.
It's something. I know. So anyway, welcome back.
Well, the insurance company, come to think of it, wanted to get on her own damn roof and assess the damage.
When the tree fell on her house and insured.
Yeah, I remember screaming at the woman. She was asking Mother, to describe, the size of the hole and the damage, and I'm going, and I grabbed the phone out of Mother's hand and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, but it is your job to send somebody to assess the damage. It is not your job to send my 96-year-old mother onto her roof to tell you what the damage is. There's a 30-foot tree on her roof. There's a hole. Send somebody." That I did say.
Susan.
They sent somebody 5 days later.
Susan,
Oh, I was so angry. I couldn't believe it.
You have been angry for now 20 minutes.
Oh, it feels so good.
Well, it doesn't feel good to me.
Okay, you talk.
Jeez. See, this is what we've come to. I spent 20 minutes crying on the show yesterday. Now you're spending 20 minutes ranting and raving. This is what we've come to.
Why were you crying?
Don't start.
Why were you crying?
I got triggered. Okay. I got triggered by what I took to be a homeless young man on the street. And I have to tell you that coming into work today, it even looks worse to me. I mean, he's lying on the street in a nook off the sidewalk, bundled up in in a blanket, lying there with his life's possessions surrounding him, and we're just all walking by him, and I don't know. I couldn't believe it when I saw him again this morning, but I'm not going to cry. I understand that doesn't help, but. Oh, God. So, anyway, that's, it just got to me. Everything, the pain and suffering that's going on in this world, and then that there's, and then the annoying, you're talking about the, the stressful kind of petty kind of annoyances that our culture provides us with, too. But those little stressors, like what's made you so angry, really do. I mean, research shows those are the little stressors that literally shorten our lives.
But, the term for these are sort of, this might be what you're describing as a microaggression. I don't think it's so micro. And it's just the cosmic nature of the thing. Your bill from the AT&T giant that, they broke up once, and that then they threw all that out. My bell's my bell again, It's ridiculous. So anyway, they send you a bill and they do nothing for you.
Well, we pay the bills. Yes, we do. Geez, I just got a thank you so much from a guy named Mark Friedenberg. He said, "Thank you, Lynn. Because of donations like yours, I don't even know who this friggin' guy is. He's running for Congress."
And you probably didn't send a donation.
No, I most certainly did not. Where's he running?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's a lunatic order.
You're on a mailing list. You sent somebody else money.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Mark Friedenberg is a fine fellow, because if he thinks I'll give him money, he's probably a good Democrat. He's running somewhere.
There's a big election in Chicago today.
Yeah. He's running somewhere in Pennsylvania. And we've got a special election here, too, that is going on right now. Hey, if you live in that district, get out there and vote for that, what's her name?
Good one, Lynn. That'll help.
All I could think of when I said that, all I could think of was the picture that her opponent uses of her in his ads. And she literally looks, I was going to say, go out and vote for that wicked hag. Because that's, she looks absolutely like a possessed demonic, succubus or something. Oh, God. Roger says, the picture of Susan on the show shows her smiling. You should have an angry one, too.
Okay, guys, I'll go back to my usual happy demeanor.
No, you don't have to. But no, I think you should send us take an angry selfie and send it, and we'll use, we'll be able to toggle back and forth. Because it is a little it always disconcerts me when you're reading someone's obituary and they're smiling at you. I'm thinking,
and they're smiling at you.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I think we should, or I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. Well, I'll send you one of me angry, but which reminds me of another thing.
No.
But it's a real issue. No, it's about Me Too stuff.
Okay, that is where we're going. Okay.
Good.
Talking about
Because,
Biden?
yeah.
Okay. So
No,
I didn't.
but I'm talking about a similar thing to Biden, except nowhere near Biden-like, who for years has been described as creepy.
Okay, go for it, and then we'll get to Biden.
So there is a longtime anchor woman, now retired in St. Louis. Karen Foss is her name. I mean, she was on the scene for 50 years, and the best way as I can describe her is you and Sally Wiggin in one person.
Dear God in heaven.
Because that was sort of her presence in the community. She spoke at everything. She headlined everything. She just, and then there was another longtime male broadcaster. They were friendly competitors. He's now on NPR with a daily interview show, and she was his guest 3 days ago. And suddenly, what flashes across my news alerts is that this man, Don Marsh, has unexpectedly resigned. And I mean, like right before his show, he didn't do a show that day. And everybody's going, what the hell could Don Marsh have done? This is a white-haired gentleman of, who's been around forever. No one really thinks there's any secrets. And 2 days later, there's a letter to the editor from Karen Foss, the woman, saying, I am horrified to find out that I may have indirectly been the cause of Don Marsh quitting. He greeted me by saying, you look good. And somebody complained that was a sexist comment.
No.
And when he was approached with that, he said, you're telling me that was a sexually harassing comment? And the reply was, it was very close to the edge, and he said, I quit. And she went on to say, to people of a certain age, when we greet each other, she said, I'm probably pretty sure that my response was, so do you. Because we're old, and we're happy to see each other looking so well and healthy.
He'll be back. Surely they're going to give him his job back and apologize.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so here's what I want to say.
Dear God
in
heaven.
First, when stuff like that happens, all it does is give everybody a right to ignore the real stuff, just like that fire alarm.
Thank you very much. This is the conflation
and that
of a man
guy
saying to someone he knows who he hasn't seen in a long time, hey, hi, you look good. That's that's nothing. It's nothing. You would say, well, thank you. So do you. She didn't take offense. How dare some third party who overheard it take offense and cause a stir, and somebody sees it as like right up to a line. Now you got me screaming. I can't live in this world. No, don't report me to suicide prevention either. But I mean, Jesus H. Christ. Okay, so
this is what my husband used to do to me. He'd get in such a foul mood, he wouldn't get out of it and I would be doing anything I could to get him out of it. And finally, I would do what you just did, and he'd feel great.
Oh, I take on your anger, and you. Well, you learn from a master.
Gotcha.
Thanks
anyway,
a lot. Now I'm so pissed off.
No. But here's what I want to say, because there's a lot of that stuff going on, and I'm not sure Biden is the right example, because long before Me Too was Me Too, Biden was accused of being vaguely creepy.
But I don't see. Okay, here.
I don't see it either.
What is vaguely creepy? Because he's a touchy-feely guy. Guess what? I'm a touchy-feely woman. I put my hands on people, on total strangers, a lot. Someone stops me on the street and says something to me like, oh, Lynn, this and that. And I often will, male or female, I touch them. I've even been known to hug them. You saw what I did to
Me
friggin'
too.
Elie Wiesel, for God's sake. Was that not? That was like sexual harassment of the nth degree. I do touch, hug. Jesus, fuck.
Yeah, I know. It's very irritating. And there's rape and assault and real harassment. I mean, it just feels like it's a male plot, to delegitimize.
No, it's a fucking,
honest to God
fucking
movement.
young, liberal, and progressive, woke young women plot to destroy everything that women built up. I am so fucking sick of this. It's the same stupidity of zero tolerance. It's this.
Well, it is zero tolerance, and it's wrong. We aren't robots. We're human beings, and you know what you mean. Pretty soon you can't smile because it would be flirtatious.
That is correct.
We can't do that, and that is not, or at least should not ever be our intent. Our intent is not to be misused. That's a pretty clear thing. Now I'm yelling again.
No, I can't take it. Here's the thing.
But if you find yourself lodging a complaint on behalf of a third person that is anything short of you witnessed a rape, stay out of it. It's not your place.
We're living in a time of just fucking little tattletales and informants and people with a skin so thin they're translucent. I can't live in a world like this. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is incredibly. I mean, I'm looking at a headline. Second woman says Biden made her uncomfortable. Well, God damn it.
You know what I have to say to these women? If somebody is making you feel uncomfortable, say stop that.
Yes. It doesn't have to be something we've all got to live because Joe Biden rubbed my nose. Okay,
and by the way, your limit might not be my limit.
Exactly
Your
right.
stop that might mean, just as that woman wrote in, hey, you might have found it offensive. He's my good friend. I was a nervous wreck. He was comforting me. He wasn't being creepy. He was being my friend. I mean, she wrote a whole op-ed about it.
I feel like I'm living in this is like a dystopian reality. I mean,
it really is.
I don't want to live in this world. That these young snowflake women want to live in. I do not want to live in it with you, babe. No. And did I call you babe? Are you triggered now? Fuck you! I can't take it anymore. Jesus. You do exactly what Susan said. You delegitimize real sexual harassment, real sexual assault. God damn.
And you make it easier to discredit a whole legitimate set of grievances.
I got to tell you.
This is where babies get thrown out with bathwater because people can't tell the bathwater from the baby.
Beyond fucking belief. I can't live in it. I can't live like this.
And to you and me, it seems real clear which is the baby and which is the water.
Okay, we got callers coming in. Incoming. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Hello? Oh, shit. It might be on our end. I don't know. Laura writes, meanwhile, what is wrong with this world? I'm so tired of this crap. It's getting so everyone is afraid to greet a friend or anyone. I don't see Biden as creepy. Some of us are just touchy people. Some aren't, and if they aren't, it's okay for them to let me know, and I won't touch them. I've hugged your brother. This is my brother's secretary. I have hugged your brother many a time, and he's not exactly inclined to like people touching him. I have hugged your brother many a time, but sometimes I now think I shouldn't. Now I have to think, and it makes me sad. Human touch is needed. How do we change the thinking of these?
It is needed, and you keep hugging Bill, because as much as he likes to pretend that he's a porcupine, he's actually a great hugger. He gives a nice
do we have the caller? Hello? Go
Hello?
ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I agree with you about that guy leaving, quitting. But on that picture, the video, they show Biden with that woman, and he's rubbing her shoulders. Now, did he kiss her on the neck?
Which video are you
No,
talking
he was whispering.
about?
He was whispering.
Now,
in
to
her
me,
ear.
that's creepy.
They are
That part of
friends.
it.
They are friends.
I find that creepy.
Wait, is this the
I
Ashton
don't know where,
Carter swearing in? Is this the Ashton Carter swearing in, where he's rubbing?
Yeah. Well, this is the one. But can I tell you, this is the woman that wrote the op-ed and said I was unexpectedly nervous.
Well, maybe her, but what about somebody else that doesn't like that? Is what I'm saying.
Well, okay, but she was saying is, don't be offended for me. I'm telling you, this was my friend, and what he did was not inappropriate. He was whispering in my ear, "It's okay, you're doing great, congratulations. Thank you for letting your husband do this." That's what he was whispering to her, and he was actually trying to calm her down. And so it's not for us to be creeped out by it, because we're all misinterpreting.
Right.
I do think that
That's
Biden now knows that he's living in a different world, and he needs to try to stop putting his hands on women who he is not close to. But there is nothing, and these latest two women have both agreed they did not feel there was anything sexual going on. Nothing.
Right.
It's just he comes from a time when, believe it or not, people could touch each other without being dragged off to some gulag. Sorry.
And another thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you run into this, but these wimpy Democrats, since Barr come out with that exoneration, which is a bunch of bullshit, now they're saying, "Oh no, Trump's going to win. Trump's going to win." I'm running into them like, my God, the races didn't even start really, and you're having Trump win. That's what's wrong with the Democrats. I mean, they need to get some backbone or something. It just come on.
That's what I keep saying. Only if people like you forget to vote for whoever, and I do mean whoever is the Democratic candidate. And I'm starting to sign everything with an actual hashtag, which is not me, which is keep your eyes on the prize at 2020.
Right.
You can't. Just stop this. We got one job. It's to show up and vote for the Democrat in November of 20.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the call. We got another caller. So
okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Caller, hello.
Hug somebody today.
Hello, caller.
Mike in D.C.
Hey,
Lynn, it's Mike in D.C.
Hi, Mike.
The op-ed that Susan's talking about, I love how the woman ended it. She said, "This is my story and my agency, and I am reclaiming it." In other words, mind your own business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if your life is so boring that you have nothing in it but to comment on other people's lives, I say get a life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get a life.
And it was just, and then, somebody like Elizabeth Warren literally sort of used the first woman's to sort of throw Biden under the bus. Well, I don't know. He'll have to decide whether this is, I mean, this is the kind of thing that makes people hate Democrats and hate liberals. And I'm getting close. Yeah,
I don't want him to be president anyway. I don't want him to be our nominee.
No.
But not for this reason.
No, not for this reason.
No, I don't either.
I don't
I
either.
don't
But
want
if he
either of those
is,
two old guys.
If he is, I'm voting for him. But I don't think he's the guy. I don't. And, yeah. Jesus, God, I can't take it. Hey, Mike, thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still for Mayor Pete. Can we
Yeah,
all
okay.
practice his name?
Yeah.
Buttigieg.
I got it now. It took me a while, but I got it. Buttigieg. So listen, I just
Once
want
you
to
get
say
it,
this.
it's sort of fun to say. Buttigieg. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, go ahead.
Susan, Michelle Goldberg today talks about Biden being, now in the spotlight for, these transgressions. And she says that shouldn't be the reason that he's not. I mean, she's agreeing with what Mike said and what we're saying. She says the problem with him is that he has such a long record, he'd have to run on that record, and it does include, he voted for the Iraq War, he voted to authorize,
he got knocked out of the 19,
for plagiarism.
Presidential race for plagiarism,
yeah.
Right.
He actually voted to repeal the Glass-Steagall Act, which lifted regulations on banks and brought us, disaster in 2008. There's lots of reasons that you don't want him as your nominee. He also, though, did lots of wonderful things, right? And as Goldberg says, and this is true, he is, by most accounts, a man of great personal decency. He is well known and well loved. Recall it was he, as vice president, who pushed the president, Obama, to move forward on gay marriage. Remember that?
Yep.
So she says he is a product of his time, but that time is up, which I think sort of is true. Now, I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, he missed the bus. His time might have been,
he should have done it
he
last
opted out of last time.
Yeah, should have done it last time.
And yeah, his time is up. And and I want to make it clear, I do not fault a person that has demonstrated that there's no end point to personal growth.
Exactly. See, here's the thing,
And
though.
that
If we keep
to deny
people
somebody
like this,
the clear example of whom is standing in front of you that he has personally grown, it's really counterproductive,
Okay.
So
there's a great column by Karen Tumulty, or Tumulty, I don't know how she pronounces it, Washington Post columnist today. Her first line says it all. Joe Biden needs to cut it out, and so does the mob that's after him. There it is. He needs to stop being so handsy, because we've moved to a time when that's not necessarily the way you deal with someone you don't know. And the mob needs to shut the fuck up. But she says...
And stop making up stories out of whole cloth.
Yeah. What we all are learning, we should hope, she says, is that we should respect women who have the courage to come forward about their experiences with unwanted physical contact. They deserve the benefit of the doubt, both about their versions of events and about how they were made to feel. But it is also important, and a sign that a social movement is maturing into a social norm, to recognize that not every offense is of equal severity. Also worth factoring in is whether an alleged perpetrator was acting with malevolence or just cluelessness or just, to lose that sense of proportion. Here's what you said, Susan. To lose that sense of proportion is to dishonor the victims of the worst kinds of sexual abuse and to abandon any hope that there can be a path to redemption for those who commit lesser ones and then grow to understand the hurt they have caused. Jesus. Unbelievable.
Well, if you got zero tolerance, if there is no nuance, then why is any of that necessary?
So you still like Buttigieg? David Brooks has.
I do. Yeah,
I do too.
I don't think he's made a false step yet.
David Brooks has a column today about. It's titled "Why You Love Mayor Pete," and in part he says this. This has been an era of culture war, class warfare, identity politics. It's been an era in which call out culture, reality TV, melodrama, and tribal grandstanding have overshadowed policy making and the challenges of actually governing. The Buttigieg surge suggests that there are a lot of Democrats who want to say goodbye to all of that. They don't want to fight fire and divisiveness with more fire and divisiveness. They don't want to fight white identity politics with another kind of identity politics. They are sick of the moral melodrama altogether. They just want a person who is more about governing than virtue signaling, more about friendliness and basic decency than media circus and rhetorical war. There it is. That is why a lot of us like this guy. He doesn't seem to be bringing all of that like everybody else. I'm sick of it.
No, and every time somebody directs, him in a way to draw him into the fray, he takes a nice little curve and starts talking policy.
Exactly. In that regard,
there used to be such a thing, policy.
In that regard, he's the best I'm seeing so far. And also because he doesn't have all the crap from having been in Washington and having learned how to talk Washington and he doesn't seem to jump when the mob says jump, and he doesn't seem to talk in the virtue signaling way that most of these other Democrats do. I'm sick of it. I really am sick of it.
What I like about him is this is the only guy that demonstrably acts according to his ethics and principles, and has in every step of his life. He has acted with integrity and honesty, and he has excelled. Whether he was in the military or whether he was busy being a Rhodes Scholar or whether he was being a young mayor, he has done it all with a grace and honesty and integrity that is, I don't know, I just find it charming.
I do too. And I'm so sorry that he happens to be a white male. So sorry he happens to be a white male.
I'm not.
But
I don't care that he's a white male.
He's saved because he's gay.
Yeah, that's right.
Jesus. I don't want... What is wrong with us?
I don't want a quota system. I don't want a one of these and a one of those. I want the best person out there.
Thank you.
That's what I want. We want to, let's aim for gender equality. Why not? Let's just try and get the best person out there. The best two people running on a ticket. There's a whole slew of them out there who are exceptionally qualified. We could hardly go wrong. Let's just do this thing and do it quickly and not do it divisively. And let's throw out anybody in the beginning who goes there. Let's just stand up all together and in the good old reality show way, hit that red buzzer and throw them out.
Okay, there's another big story we need to address, and that is the whistleblower from the White House.
Oh yeah, God bless her.
Yeah,
and then she went back to work.
She goes and spills the beans. to the House Oversight Committee and then goes back to work, which takes a lot of courage.
Well, she's already been docked pay. She's already been demoted.
That's right.
She's. I mean, it's not like she's going back to friendly folks, which makes you wonder: have they turned everybody there? She can't possibly be the last man standing. She can't possibly be without support in that whole place.
I don't know. The most extraordinary thing they apparently did is she is a dwarf. And they put a lot of files that she would need to have access to way, way out of her reach. They even put the buzzer that you have to buzz to get into the office out of her reach.
Well, that's against the law.
That's against the law. That is correct. She could certainly file, and in fact, she did file a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, accusing them of moving files to a shelf several feet above her. Then she hired her own attorney. The fact that she says, as somebody said the other day, that this information alone, that 25 people were given top security clearances after the people that are hired to decide whether they should have them were overridden, would be a huge, huge scandal in any administration. Any. This one, it barely gets noticed. Isn't that something?
And the reasons are because they were so open to blackmail, or
That's right.
they were engaged in business dealings with governmental entities.
Right.
It's not little things.
She's in an office that is supposed to be nonpartisan. She has served President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, and now President Trump. And because that office is not supposed to be politicized, they're there to vet people for clearances. And they were finding all kinds of people that Trump wanted to bring in that had financial problems, that had criminal conduct, that had drug use, that had all kinds of information, including entanglements, yes, with overseas entities, two of whom are top level and now have top security clearance. We can assume one is Jared Kushner. She has not named names. She says she's come forward because she is concerned about our national security.
And her children's security and her security. This isn't little.
She tried
when
to
Jared
she tried to deal with this internally, by the way. She didn't go right screaming to, Congress. She tried for a year.
That's why she was demoted.
That's why she was demoted. That's why she ended up getting suspended for 2 weeks. They started harassing her when she started raising these issues internally. They went after her.
And Jared Kushner was asked today his thoughts on the matter, and his response was, we shouldn't worry about it.
No. He should.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got plenty to worry about. Unbelievable. Oh.
I mean, I used to joke about, can't this be like a Dickens novel where we wake up one day and Trump is just green goo on a wall having spontaneously combusted. But more and more, we are caught in a Dickensian sort of horror show where, we're cogs in an endless machine and the idiots are in control of the House, and the people are reduced to mere supplicants.
That's about it. That's about it. And that's why I keep saying I feel like I'm trapped in some kind of dystopian world, and I'm afraid I am. So, good Lord. Where did I see? I can't believe I lost it. I had this thing about there's a. Hang on. I maybe left stuff in my little. Yeah, here. No, that's not it. Shoot. Anyway, there's this stuff called a Q. No, it's not a Q rating. It's another kind of E rating, I think it is. And this is done by some private company, and other big entities, marketers and big corporations pay these people to give them information about how important people are perceived. It helps them market and figure out what. Anyway, there's a rating for Trump, and has been since he's been a celebrity, right? And somehow somebody leaked what his ratings are, and they rate. There's adjectives that people are asked to. Do these apply to this person? It's a kind of market research thing. And oh my God, I somehow left it at home. Oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I have it here. Yeah, here it is. It's called a E-score. And it tracks how individuals score on more than 40 personality and physical attributes. Networks, advertisers rely on these figures to know which personalities appeal to their audiences and which do not. Somebody has leaked out his E ratings. They're they ain't good. He is most often described as mean, and aggressive. That's how people perceive him. Now, what's interesting is the people who love him see him that way. They like it. That's what we got to understand. His meanness, his aggressiveness does not turn them off. It turns them on. He also scored high for being insincere and for being creepy. He also scored high, is the only good one, but it's because he's a narcissist. He scores high on confidence. But he got the lowest possible numbers for being physically fit, impartial, handsome, and sexy, which, if he reads this article, is going to send him into a crazed, tirade, right? So that is how he's perceived by, and believe me, people pay tens of thousands of dollars to get access to this information about people. Americans see him for who he is. Exactly. They see he has no clothes. They see his malevolence and his ugliness. And we know that 40-some% of them like it. That's the scary part. Right? Are you coughing, choking? Yeah.
I am coughing. I'm just choking to death on this.
Okay. Well, I think we're done anyway. I can tell we're done. Somebody just sent me a picture of a bunch of little kittens.
Okay, I'm going to find you an angry picture of me, and I will send it to you so that you can switch them out when appropriate. But I'll go back to my normal happy.
Okay. Do you know when you said angry picture? Do you know the greatest angry picture I've ever had of me was, I think, taken by you or else your daughter when we were on vacation in Sarasota. Do you remember the picture? Oh God, it's a riot. I remember I used it. I sent it to people saying, wish you were here having a great time. For some reason. It's a picture of me, and I'm sitting at a table, and I'm looking off to the left, and I've got a look of such... you can't... It's just... You don't remember the picture. I should...
No.
It's a riot. I'll send it to you. It's a riot.
Do you remember why you were looking that way?
No. No, I don't. But someone saw it and thought it was funny. I think it might have been Leah. So there you go. And it is funny.
Well, you were probably ranting about some stranger that you could see from where you were sitting.
I don't know, man. If you saw this picture, you would not want to go anywhere near that woman. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, maybe we should just use that.
Okay, maybe we could use that. Anyway, okay, Suze, we're out of time. How long you staying there?
That's up in the air.
Okay.
I think I might stay less long and go home and then come back so I can drive Mom to my house for Passover.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, I'll see you for Passover.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
Suze. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And bye, you guys. Sorry for the fire alarm, the general rants, the anger, and whatever, and blah. See you tomorrow.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.